Well now, here I am doing another lesson for a solo that already has any number of tutorials out there for you to choose from. But it is still fresh in my head from learning it last week, and I'm trying to boost the tutorial content on my channel, so I thought, why the heck not? Let's do Comfortably Numb. Maybe I can bring a fresh approach to it. I don't know, but I do think that my take on it is pretty darn close to the original. You can check out my performance of this one. I'll put a link to it down in the description box if you haven't seen it already. So let's dig into this one. Go get your David Gilmour replica Stratocaster, the one that looks just like this one. If you don't happen to have a David Gilmour replica Stratocaster like I do, I'm afraid to say that you won't be able to play this one and still look super cool like me doing it. So your choice. First things first. We are in standard tuning for Comfortably Numb, and we're working predominantly in the B minor pentatonic scale, with a few passing notes here and there pulled from the B natural minor scale. The first solo uses the B natural minor scale much more so than the main solo does, and I'll discuss some of that as we go along in the tutorial. I'm going to do a quick run through of the B minor pentatonic before we dig in, and then a run through of the B natural minor scale in two of the main positions that we're going to be using. So let's have a look at Comfortably Numb, show you guys the two solos and how to play them. All right, so we're going to have a look at the first solo to Comfortably Numb, and we're in standard tuning for this one, so get yourself in standard tuning. For the first solo, I am up on the neck pickup, and I've got a little bit of modulation on a tremolo, actually, a tremolo pedal. David Gilmour used an amp with 3 rotating speakers to get this, to give his sound this warble. You can use a tremolo pedal or a vibrato pedal. It kind of gives you the same effect. And I also said that I was going to show you the B minor pentatonic and the B natural minor scale in two positions. The first solo uses the B natural minor a lot. The main solo, not so much. The main solo is 95% pentatonic work. So this is the B minor pentatonic. That is 7-10, 7-9, 7-9, 7-9, 7-10, 7-10. And the B natural minor scale is adding 2 notes to that scale, turning that 5-note pentatonic into a 7-note diatonic. That is the B natural minor scale. That is 7-9-10, 7-9-10, 7-9, 6-7-9, 7-8-10, 7-9-10. And now that same scale, another position of it that he uses a lot in the first solo is right here at the 14th fret, starting on the A string. And that is 14, 16, 17, 14, 16, 17, 14, 16, 14, 15, 17, 14, 15, 17. And then you can get up there to the root note right there at 19. And the first solo starts actually right there, and a lot of it's played right there in that little B minor, natural minor box. So let's start. I'm on the neck pickup. And so we're going to start with a little 4-note sweep. And this little chord right here, we've got our ring finger on 16 of the D string, our index on 14 of the G, our middle finger on 15 of the B. And we're going to sweep down those notes, but as you're sweeping down those notes, once you pass the G string, you've got to lift that finger off and get it down here to the 14th fret of the high E. And that is not easy to do because it's very quick. So it's a quick little jump from there to there while you're sweeping. And once you get down there, then you're going to grab that note and give it a little half step bend release. And then you're going to grab 15 of the B string and give it a full step bend. And you want to get this note up there quickly. You don't want to start and do a slow bend. You don't want to do that. You got to get that note to the top almost immediately. And then you're going to release it back to the natural note, and then you're going to hit 14 on the B twice. And then you're going to roll up the G string and the D string on the same fret and hit those notes as well. And then you're going to back it up to 12, let it ring for a bit, and then pick it again. So up to that point. And now we're going to repeat the opening again, but this time we're going to sweep just the bottom 3 strings. It's a little bit of a shorter, faster sweep. And do that exact same thing again. Back to the natural note, and we're going to do the same little roll up the 14th fret on the B, the G, and the D string again. This time we're only hitting the 14th fret once, not twice like we did the first time. And then you're going to back up 12, 11 on the D string. And then you're going to go 14, 12 on the A, and then slide into 12 of the G. And that is the first half of the solo. So, slowly. Give that note vibrato. And now we're going to go 11, 9, 7. We're going to pick each one of those notes in somewhat of a staccato fashion. And then you're going to do the same thing, but this time you're going to pull them all off. So the first 3 times staccato. And then the next time hit the first note and then pull them off. And then grab 9 again, pull it off to 7, and then pick 7 again. So, from this part. Now we're into this. So that's pretty simple. That's just pulling off 9 to 7, back up to 9 of the D. And then back to 7 and back to 9 of the G. Up to 11, and then you're going to give that note at the 11th a nice slow half step bend with vibrato. And then we're into this. And that we're sweeping, you can sweep the open strings on this one. So we're going to sweep down to 15 on the high E, go back to 14, and then 17, 15 of the B, and then 16 to 12 of the G, and then roll up to 12 of the D. And then we're going to go to 10 and then slide back to 9 and then pick it again. And then you're going to pull off 10 to 9 and then slide back to 7. And that's pretty much the end of the solo. So let me run it up to that point and we'll do it slowly. And at this point, the guitar gets turned down a little bit in the mix, but you can still hear this going on in the background. So that is at the 11th fret for a very quick half-step bend. And then a double bend at 9, double bend release. And then back to 7 on the G. And then we're going to slide into 9 and release back to 7. And that is the first solo. So I'm going to take a little break, and then I'll be right back in the magic of video editing in 1 second. And we'll have a look at the main solo. All right, so let's have a look at the main solo to Comfortably Numb. The main solo starts with a pinch harmonic at the 7th fret. And the pinch is right here, somewhere in the middle of your picking area. Right there. And if you don't know how to do pinch harmonics, it's one of those weird techniques, at least when you first start out soloing, that you can't do it, and you can't do it, and you can't do it, and then one day you nail one, and then you have it, and it's like, why couldn't I do that before? The reason it's called a pinch harmonic is because you have to be pinched down on your pick, for one, because when you hit the note, you have to brush it a microsecond after you pick it with the side of your thumb, and that makes the squeal. And I'm always pinched down on my pick. I don't know how anybody can pick like that, I'm always pinched down. This is kind of my angle of attack when I'm picking. This is my leading edge right here. I don't pick with the tip. I pick on the side right there. So that's pretty much how I hold a pick. And then once it's in position at the guitar, that's my angle of attack. And I'm pinched. You can see I'm pinched way down. And so it's good for squeals. And so, anyway, squeal that note at the 7th fret. Then you're going to grab 9, hit it once, and then you're going to hit it again and give it a full step bend with vibrato. And then we're into this. So you're going to give bend at 9, release back to 7, and then up to 9 of the D string. A really quick note at the 9 on the D before you go back to 7. And then 3 notes on the 9th fret of the G, and then release back to 7. And then back up to 9 of the D, and then back down to 7. And you can give that note a little slight bend, and then kill it with the palm of your right hand. And then we're into this. So that is sliding into 11 of the G string, and then you're going to bounce off the 10 of the B and the 11 of the G twice. Then you're going to grab 12 of the B and give it a 1.5 step bend. And then release it back to 10. Hammer on to 12, and then grab 10 of the high E. That is a big bend, that 1.5 step right there. Way up there. Then you're going to go 7, 9, bend it again, release back to 7, and then finish up on 9 of the D. So up to that point. And then we're into this. And that's just right up the pentatonic. 10 to 7 on the B, then up to 9 of the G, and then back to 7 of the B. And then 9, 7 of the G, up to 9 of the D. But much quicker. And he really attacks that little phrase right there. Really attacks that well. And then we're into this. So we're going to slide into 9 of the A, then 2 notes at the 7th fret of the D, and then a quick note at 9 of the D, and then 7 of the G for a little slow bend, and then a pull off from 9 to 7, and then back onto 9 of the D string. And now we're going to do a sweep of the B minor chord, the bottom 4 strings, and then we're going to finish it up by hammering on our pinky onto the 9th fret of the high E. Sorry, we're not going to hammer on our pinky. We're going to move our ring finger down and grab it with that. And give that, hit it once, and then give it a half step bend. Then you're going to go 7 of the high E up to 10 of the B, back to 7 of the high E, back to 10 of the B for a full step bend. And then a quick one it is. And now we're into the first of 4 pentatonic scale runs, and I'm not going to go note by note, fret by fret with these pentatonic scale runs. I'm going to play them once, and then I'm going to repeat them 2 or 3 times slowly. And here's the first scale run. So know that there's a little chromatic run. When you get up to the 9th fret of the A, you're going 9, 8, 7. And then sliding back to 5. A good thing to remember, of the 4 scale runs, the first one you do that little chromatic, the second one you don't, the third one you do, and the 4th one you don't. They're all very similar, but they're all different, and they've got little subtle differences in them. So that's the first one. And then you're going to do 3 hits of this little double stop here on the G and the B string at the 7th fret with a little vibrato. And then we're into this. This is actually the second scale run. So that's the second one. And so I'll run through that 2 more times slowly. Where was I? I lost track of it here. So that time, you notice I didn't hit that little that note on the 8th fret as part of a chromatic. I skipped right over it. All right, and now we're into this. And so we're going to slide into 9 of the A string and then 3 hits on 7 of the D. And then we're going to pull off 9 back to 7 of the D. And then you're going to just roll down there and grab the G and the B string together on the 7th fret and then back up to 9 of the D. And then we're into this lick. So we're going to go 7 to 9, and then when we get to 9, we're going to give it a bend. And then down this little blues lick. Down on the 7th fret on the B and the E. And then we're going to grab 10 of the B up to 9 of the G, back to 7 of the B, and then roll up to 7 of the G. And when you get to that note on the 9th fret of the G, a little bend. So, from the top of that lick. Almost every time you get to that 9th fret on the G string, there's a bend going on with it. And now we're into the 3rd scale run, and it starts with another 9 back to 7. So, slowly. So you notice, like I said, the chromatic is there this time. This is the 3rd scale run, which, and it has the chromatic. The first one does, and the 3rd one does. And when you get down to that 5th fret on the E, you're going to pull it off to the open A. 5th fret on the A, sorry, and then pull it off to the open A. So, from the beginning of that little phrase. So after you pull off to the open A, you're going to grab that little double stop again and give it a little slow bend, and then grab 9 of the D string. And give that some vibrato, let it ring, and then you're going to do it again. The second time, there's actually a pinch harmonic on that note, wherever you can find it. Now the second time. And then there's a 3rd one. Just listen to the album to get the timing on it. And the 3rd one's much quicker. And then it finishes up by going back to that little double stop again. So, from the 3rd scale run. And now we're into this. So we're going to pull, we're going to bend 9 on the G, and then release back to 7, and then up to 9 on the D string. And then quickly back to 7, back to 9 for a full step bend. And then down to 7 of the high E, up to 10 of the B, back to 7 of the B, back to 10 for a full step bend. And that leads us into the 4th scale run. So let's take it from that spot right there. Now remember, try to get the pinch. Now, the 4th scale run. Here we go, slow, 3 times. when you get up to that note on the 10th fret of the low E, you're going to skip the A string and go back down to the 9th fret of the D, and then grab the double stop again on the 7th fret. Sorry, messed it up. One more time. So then you're going to do some chugs and then grab that and then roll it up to the 7th fret of the D. So up to that point from the 4th, let's take it from the 3rd scale run. And now we're into this. So, we're going to slide into 9 of the D string. Grab 7 and then hammer onto 9 of the G. Release back to 7. And then pull off 9 to 7 of the D, up to 9 of the A, back to 7 of the D. And then this. So that's 7 of the D string. Pulling off 9 back to 7, up to 9 of the A, and then down to that double stop again. And then you're just riding that double stop like 7 or 8 times. And then we're into the higher registers. So let me take the whole solo right from the beginning, slowly up to that point, and then we're going to get into the these notes up there. So. So now we're up into this section of the solo. We're going to grab 19 of the high E and give it some vibrato. Then we're going to grab it again. Go up to 21. No, 20. I think that's 19, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And then up to 21. And then give that a full step bend, and then you ride that a little bit. And then hammer on 19 to 21, and then back to 20. And then, so there's two little mutes. And then you're going to grab 17 of the B string and then slide it into 19. That is not a bend. A lot of guys bend this, but it's not a bend, it's a slide. And then back up to 17. Give it a bend, release back to 15, and then grab 17 again. And then into this. And that's 15 to 17, bend, back to 15, and resolve it at 16 on the G. And then we're into this. That's 14 to 16 on the B, on the G, up to 14 on the D, 12 on the D, up to 14 on the A. And then sliding back into 16 of the G string. I like to play, in my performance, which you can check out down below, this is what I did at that part. Nice little Steve Vai type of slide there. That sounds really good too. And then we're into this. So we're going to grab 16 of the G and then down to 17 of the B. Full step bend. Back to 15 and then back to 17. And back up to 16 of the G. And then we're going to come back here to the 12th fret of the B. Full step bend. And this is one final scale run as the solo is fading out, as the song is fading out. And just as the song is fading out, you can hear him go back into that again. And that, my friends, is how you play Comfortably Numb by David Gilmour. Let's get all this stuff off. And thank you for watching. I hope that helped you out. I hope that was accurate. I listened to it over and over again. I think it's pretty darn close. And so I hope that helped you out. If you're a subscriber to my channel, thank you very much. If you're not, please subscribe. I've got plenty of tutorials coming up. It's the new focus going forward with my channel. So you guys take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time. Ciao.